Hey, this is Jeremy, and it's time to talk about Nickel Boys. Okay, I was super excited for this movie, but sadly I ended up a little bit disappointed. Directed by Ramel Ross and based on the 2019 novel by Colson Whitehead, which I haven't read, but I did read 2017's The Underground Railroad, which won a Pulitzer Prize, and this was fucking fantastic. The film stars Brandon Wilson and Ethan Harris, as well as my girl Ingenue Ellis-Taylor, who was absolutely sensational in Ava DuVernay's Origin, if you haven't seen that. The story is about two African-American boys sent to a reform school in Florida, and what kind of happens to them there. It's fiction, but it's based on an actual school, the Dozier School for Boys in Florida, that was notorious for their treatment of kids. It has since closed. But what's really special about this movie is this whole thing is shot in POV. And not in just POV of one character. It kind of switches between the guys. I originally thought that it was only one character before seeing it, but it's two. At the beginning, the first shots, the camera moves kind of quickly, like the first scene, when like one of the guys turns his head, and it made me really dizzy. And I was like, oh shit, is this going to be 2 hours and 20 minutes of this? I'm going to barf. But then it was fine. I don't know. The camera sort of stabilizes and it's kind of steady for the rest of the movie, even though it moves, but it's just not that quick. It's a super cool concept, and I'm always down for like experimental stuff, but it ultimately didn't work for me. I think the goal was like to put you in their shoes, but it didn't really do that for me. Not being able to see the two actors kind of interact with each other just made me not connect to them at all. And that's partly because the actors weren't connecting with each other. I think the two leads and Ingenue Ellis-Taylor, who is great, would have been even better if they were actually working opposite each other and not a camera operator. And the subject of the film is fucking heavy, so you need those people to kind of like connect to each other to get the emotional core of the film. Otherwise, you're just getting one side and it's kind of not working because you're not seeing what the camera, aka the other person, is kind of feeling. And what happens in this movie is like dark as hell, but it kind of doesn't hit you until a while into the movie. At one point, I was like, they're doing what at this school? The vibe of the film and the relationship of the two guys is kind of cute and breezy. And it doesn't feel like they're in the same movie / location of what else is happening at this school. I don't know if that was intentional in the sense that they kind of created their own bubble, but it kind of took me a while to realize what was really happening. And maybe I wasn't paying attention, or maybe I was too distracted by the POV. And sure, like I get the movie doesn't want to show the violence, and that's fine, but I still need to know like what the stakes are, you know? Because there's not much plot apart from them wanting to like get out of there. But it did make me want to read the book though. I'm sure all of this comes across better in the book. And maybe I would have appreciated the movie more if I had read the book and I kind of knew the backstory and the context. Who knows? In terms of performances, like I said, the performances were not bad, but they weren't what they could have been had the actors interacted with each other and not a camera. Ingenue Ellis-Taylor was great, but I know she would have like killed if she had been hugging real humans and not a camera. And maybe she would have gotten that Best Supporting Actress nomination that she didn't get yesterday morning. The score was used sporadically, but it was great. The cinematography, I mean, I guess, even though I'm not into this POV style, if you like that, then it was great. It's amazing. It's special. It's unique. Like, and now we already know what was nominated at the Oscars, but I saw this the night before the nominations. So, and I agree that it was nominated for Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay. That's great. I'm down. I don't think it has a chance of winning in any of these categories, but good for them. So finally, I gave this 3.5 stars on Letterboxd because it wasn't my jam, but like I wrote in my review on Letterboxd, this is potentially like a masterpiece. I just didn't like the approach. It's not for me, but as like a thing, it's pretty solid. So if you're hesitating, I say go see it and judge for yourself. See you next time.
Hello. Where'd you come from?